Center has reacted to a headline today's exclusive story on the Dantewada conspiracy of Maoists, and now, after even 3 years of this gruesome murder, little has changed really on the ground. In the first reaction to our expose, Home Secretary has said that the government will do everything to secure the lives of security forces operating against all odds in the Maoist-inflicted areas.
Think so. I think so. We have learned our lessons. It was very necessary for us to have learned those lessons, because it was a question of our prevailing in this fight. This is a fight which is a very serious fight, and we can't sort of take this lightly, because our lives are involved. Our boys' lives are involved. Every day, they put their lives on the line when they go out into the jungle, and they put their lives on the line for us, for the people, right? So whatever happens, any incident, we record it, we go over it, and we learn our lessons.
Editor Strategic Affairs Gaurav Samant now joins us live from the newsroom. Gaurav, coming to you, you have the government coming out and assuring that all action, all safety measures will be taken in the near future, and it has been taken in the past as well. But Gaurav, really, the ground reports that we have here, the expose that we have filed only yesterday, talks of another story altogether, Gaurav, of how after 3 years also, the government really hasn't learnt its lessons.
Indeed, that is the biggest problem that troops on ground face. Now, orders may have been passed from the higher headquarters, but is it being implemented on ground zero? Do they have, the biggest issue that's been pointed out is penny packet deployment. The second biggest aspect is that officers and jawans, they are neither training together nor they are operating together. Unfortunately, that situation remains even as on date. Area domination patrols should only be led by officers and men who know that entire area. In all of this, what is actually required is a concerted policy at a national level, taking states on board in fighting the issue of Maoist violence. But so far, neither has a national policy been drawn out, nor have all the states been taken on board, nor is the tactical deployment on ground geared to deal with the situation effectively. While certain measures have been taken, no doubt, post the incident at Tadmetla in the Dantewada forest, but that bigger picture still eludes the government.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Well, it is the literature retrieved from the Naxalites, which is an eye-opener, really. It meticulously details not just the planning of the attack, but even the post-mortem that followed the Operation Chidambaram. As Home Minister said at that point in time, that Naxalism poses the single biggest threat to India's internal security. The videos and documents with headlines today prove him right.
These are the images of Naxal brutality. They are meant to send a chilling message to the forces fighting the Maoists. You enter our area, this is what we will do to you. On April 6th, 2010, the peace of the jungles of Dantewada was shattered by this fusillade of ammunition. For the first time ever, Headlines Today brings you actual footage shot by Maoists before, during and after the massacre at Dantewada. This bloody battle in the jungles of Chhattisgarh was to prove a game changer, stripping the Naxalite struggle of its legitimacy. After the Maoists had finished firing 3,000 rounds, 76 CRPF personnel lay dead. 9 Naxal leaders and scores of villagers were also killed in this take-no-prisoners encounter. The reason why the encounter proved so effective was because the entire plan was premeditated and then executed with clinical efficiency. Headlines Today has accessed Maoist literature detailing A to Z of the encounter. Maoists observed the road opening party of the CRPF from their camp 15 days prior to the attack. They then laid a trap 400 meters from the road to avoid civilians getting hurt. The Maoists allowed the entire company to move into the killing zone before firing the first shot. The Naxalites used 8 platoons, each having around 20 people, to ambush, 6 for assault, and 2 as stoppers to handle reinforcements. They dug trenches at the edges of the killing field and placed booby traps and claymore mines to hit personnel, anti-mine vehicles and bulletproof vehicles. Such was the cold-blooded planning that they rehearsed the entire action at the site from March 31st for 3 straight days. After giving shape to their deadly conspiracy, the Maoists have shot their injured being treated and taken away deeper into the jungle. This even as CRPF men struggled to reach their fallen comrades. Headlines Today has also accessed footage of the cremations of the dead Naxals. They were treated as martyrs in a battle. They were credited with capturing this huge arsenal.
These brutalities were meant to demoralize India's fight against the Maoist menace. With the weapons that the rebels seized, they've gone on and killed and maimed many more of our men in uniform. However, what is not to be missed from all this is the steely determination, the level of training and commitment that the insurgents have imbibed to upset the fabric of this nation. The question is, what has the government done about it? Jugal Purohit in New Delhi for Headlines Today.
Well, this is the reality of the 2010 Dantewada massacre. The brutal killing of CRPF personnel should have taken the Indian state out of its kid glove approach to the Maoists. It should have led to inflation of stern steps to root out Naxalism from Indian soil. But 3 years later, not much has changed.
It was an area domination exercise that went horribly wrong for the CRPF. Headlines Today has learned the entire sequence of events that unfolded on that fateful morning of April 6, 2010.
Behind me is the area, the actual killing field, where the Maoists finished off 75 CRPF personnel and 1 policeman of the Chhattisgarh police. Let's just look at the details. The CRPF moving from their camp in Chintalnar towards Tadmetla, which is to the south, were actually on a little beyond this road. The Naxalites who were present in the entire area knew fully well how and where the CRPF men will travel from, had actually laid a trap in the area. In fact, they were rehearsing here for 3 days from the 31st of March till the D-date of 6th of April. As you're seeing, the Naxalites allowed the CRPF men to enter into their killing zone and started firing from 3 sides initially, which is when the men, in a natural course of action, tried to take cover behind the low-lying areas a little to the south. The Naxalites there opened up the 4th front, thereby ensuring that the blockade of the security personnel was complete. After that, almost 6,000 rounds were fired between the CRPF men who were trapped and the Naxalites who were sitting at the hilltops and in very, very advantageous position. And this entire encounter, which started at 5:45 AM, continued till 9:30. In fact, transcripts show that the trapped CRPF men were constantly seeking more and more reinforcements. They wanted their colleagues to come from the Chintalnar camp and salvage the situation. As you're seeing here, bodies was found in different areas. This is a bulletproof vehicle which was called in from the Chintalnar camp, and when it tried to break the ambush of the Naxalites, there was a mine which was laid in the area which exploded, killing the driver who was coming here to salvage the situation.
The degree of planning evident in the seized documents from Naxalites is chilling. After executing this massacre, the Naxalites had an extensive debrief session. The details of these are also available with Headlines Today. The Maoists write that they had a doubt whether the forces had planned a counter-offensive. It says they then changed their strategy and moved some of their soldiers to encircle the personnel. It also says that some of the mines could not be blown as they were too close to their own comrades. It also says while they succeeded in blasting the mine protected vehicle, they could not seize the weapons as they were in a hurry to withdraw. Despite the failure, the Maoists captured a massive arsenal, one that will force the security forces to think twice before sending an underprepared force into the jungle again. With Jugal Purohit, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.